What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody back again with another video, and your boy Doody needed to take some time this morning and drop a commentary style on our boy Phil's pathetic behavior from last night. That's right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, what is your boy always talking about when it comes to Phil? The obsessive begging from him. That's right. And he's back in rare form. It took him essentially a day of making bank from the Kino Casino co-op stream that he's now begging for 50 bucks in tips and having a bit of a meltdown over it. It's pretty pathetic. Now, yeah, I want to focus on that video that I posted yesterday from the unrecorded segment from Phil's Street Fighter stream last night, but I want to answer some questions. I do, because Phil annoys me because he asks these open-ended questions, right? Well, they're more rhetorical questions. He'll ask his rhetorical questions, then of course frame it in a joking, comedic way to kind of insult people that are criticizing him. And then of course he goes to the extreme when he tries to answer that rhetorical question. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to give Phil the answers, because we all know Phil watches my content. He watches most Detractor's content. And I thought, hey, you know what? If he's really looking for an answer, well, your boy Doody's ready to give it to him. So if you don't know, this is from last night before the Street Fighter stream, the unrecorded segment, where Phil rambled on for about 6 minutes. He was annoyed that people were criticizing him yet again for begging after making over $4,000 Sunday night. Now, yeah, we are criticizing you, Phil, because of the excessive begging, but it's more than that. It's a little bit more deeper than that, Phil. And you refuse to actually look at the argument and ponder, well, okay, do my detractors have a reason for being annoyed? And maybe if you did, you may stop and think and pause and say to yourself, okay, well, I can see that argument. But we all know Phil won't, because when it comes to begging, Phil is Lord Supreme and he can do no wrong. So this clip is about 5 minutes long. I'm going to let it play. I'll probably pause it, give a little bit of commentary. But yeah, you have here actually having a meltdown, lying, of course. And your boy Doody's just here to drop some knowledge and some receipts. So let's go.
Now, you guys know the deal with my streams. Very simple. 50 bucks in tips is my goal. If I hit that, I consider this a successful stream and I did good. If I don't, I consider it I didn't do so good. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Anything else that comes in, super chats, super stickers, memberships, gifted memberships, all well appreciated. Thank you so much in advance to anyone who supports the stream in those ways. But tonight, I am looking for 50 bucks in tips. I did not even hit 20 bucks in tips on my first stream today, Nintendo World Championships. So it would be great to hit that tonight. To help make up for that, thank you in advance. What's hilarious now is...
All right, before we go any further, we definitely have to acknowledge this piece right here. So, of course, he's begging for tips. There's no argument there. When you sit there and you ask someone to donate money, you're begging for money. I'm sorry, you are. And it is. I'm sorry, Phil. It just is. I don't care what you say. You are begging. You're begging for tips and your contribution. There is no... I know you love to use store analogies and business stores and restaurants. But there's no store and there's no restaurant. There's no waitresses, waiters, no one that says, tip me. Yes, the understanding is that when you go to get service, like at a restaurant or whatever, and you get good service or mediocre, whatever, you're supposed to tip, right? That's kind of the unwritten spoken word between customers and servers. So everyone knows that, Phil. The fact that you need to continuously bring up the fact that you need to be tipped is what is annoying. That's what people find repugnant. That's what I find repugnant. Now, you say, you actually love to say, well, you know, I only mention it once or twice or during my break. No, Phil. I don't think you're subconsciously letting you acknowledge that you do it more than 1 or 2 times. You literally do it anywhere between 6 to 8 times. Phil, go to my channel and look up Beg record. I have probably about 7 or 8 videos dedicated simply to tracking how much you beg on a certain street. I actually have videos of how many times you beg in a given day. You know what your record is, Phil? 18 times. 18 times where you actually stop your stream and begged for people to give you money, give you contributions. Now that's the issue, Phil. The issue isn't that people are upset that you want to make money. No, we understand that this is your job, Phil, and you're streaming. Streamers are entitled to an income. They're not entitled. If you're putting out content and people like it, you make some money. Everyone understands that. Everyone is okay with that. And Phil, I'm okay with you making a salary and making money. I'm fine with that. My problem with you is the excessive begging, is the guilt tripping. That's what annoys people, Phil, and you just can't see that because you're so concerned with making sure that you make your 100K a year that nothing else matters. And if you're not hitting those goals, you feel like you need to mention it. And there's no reason to mention it. None at all, Phil. It just isn't. So again, your argument doesn't make any sense. And your mental block, your ego, whatever it is blocking you from understanding that. What you rather do is do what you're going to do now. Is you ask a rhetorical question and then you give a mocking answer to make it sound ridiculous. But it isn't ridiculous, Phil. You're the one being ridiculous. And it gets to the point where you have to lie. You have to lie. Last night, I spent an hour trying to find someone to see if you were telling the truth. And I'll get into that right now in this little segment.
Was that so? I literally am just doing exactly what I do every day, right? So now my haters on Twitter are coming after me saying, oh, you see, today he was asking for money on stream. And people are actually defending me now for the first time ever. They're like, yeah, it's called working. That's what he does. He works every day. And he lets people know they can contribute if they like the content, right? And people are like, oh, well, he just made a lot of money back on Sunday during his React event. Aren't you aware of that? And people are like, yeah, and he's working now. So because he made money 2 days ago when he was working, he can't make money today when he's working? What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, I want to stop it right there. So that right there. So again, Phil asked a rhetorical question, right? And then gives a ridiculous answer and tries to mock what people are saying. Phil, the issue isn't that you're begging every day. Well, the issue is that you're begging. The issue isn't that you're trying to make a living and trying to make an income every day. That's not the problem, Phil. The issue that people have is that you made $4,000 on Sunday. $4,000. That's almost a month's wage for you, Phil. $4,000, right? And what do? The very next day, you're begging for contributions because you're not hitting your goals. And you did the same thing today. And you guilt trip people. You do. You guilt trip people, Phil. I'll give you an example. Last night on your Street Fighter playthrough, you went overtime. You spent 50 extra minutes playing Street Fighter, waiting for someone to get you to the $50 tip goal. That's what we're talking about, Phil. That's excessiveness. Because if you're having a slow night and you were at $40 and you got like a $50 super chat and you got some memberships, that's a pretty good night for you, Phil. And then you add the fact that you made $4,000 on Sunday. Yes, you are begging. You're being excessive about it. And the one other thing I want to add here is that this man right here, right? How often does he talk about his wife? How often does he say the one thing he wishes he can change about his life is that he had more time to spend with his family, especially his wife, right? That's Phil's mantra because Phil wants everyone to believe he's a good husband, right? Then why stay an extra 50 minutes on stream at night trying to get an extra $10 out of your fucking dents? Why, Phil? Those 50 minutes you could have spent with your wife. So those 50 minutes waiting for a $10 tip, you could have had spending with your wife, seeing how she's doing, just being a good husband. But no, your greed, Phil, your obsessiveness to get tips, because that's what it was. It was tips. That was Phil's issue. He was at $41. He made $19 or $17 on the first stream, and he needed to hit the magic number of $100 in tips for the day. And his obsessive greed kept him playing a game that he despises. And then finally, at the end, after 50 minutes, somebody, I guess, got tired of watching it and said, you know what, let me give this guy $10 before he decides to stream the rest of the night and bore everyone to sleep. And that's what happened. And I even have little clips with our boy Phil is actually saying, well, guys, I guess we're not going to hit the goal. It is what it is. I really had wished we could hit the goal. You just guilt tripping people. He even said at one point, he said, well, I guess we're not going to get any more contributions. That's pretty upsetting. Just that right there, Phil, that is why people criticize you for being a beggar. That is why people criticize you for being a manipulator. Those are the issues people have with you. No one has an issue with you making a living, Phil. I don't. I'm going to say right now, Doody on a stack of Bibles is saying right now, Doody does not have an issue with Phil making an income streaming. I can care less. I could. I don't begrudge you for making an income on Stream Phil and streaming. If that's what you want to do with your life, have at it. My problem with you is the excessive begging, is the guilt tripping, and you putting your financial burdens on others. That is what ticks me off. And the other thing that pisses me off is that, yeah, you lie about it. You lie. You lie, Phil. Everyone knows that you played WWE Champions. It's been proven. You buy pointless shit that you can't really own or don't really have the money for, and then claim that people donated shit like that. That's what annoys people. And the matter, okay, let's even say that the stuff that was donated, the PC, the foam, the soundproofing or the sound dampening foam, the camera, the phone, whatever. Let's say it's true that someone donated that. Wouldn't you actually think, hey, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't beg for $50 in tips, because I actually did get, a $2,200 PC, a phone, soundproofing, a camera, all of this stuff that would have set me back thousands of dollars, right? I got it from my supporters, my dents, right? You would think maybe I shouldn't beg, but not Phil. Nope. Phil has to compartmentalize everything. Phil has to say, no, tips are one thing, donated goods are another, super chat is something else, and then memberships is something else. Those are all separate, yeah, and you can't mix them together. No, Phil, it's all income. It's all sources of income that end up in your bank account, and none of it is different. So whether you get $100 in super chats on one day, or whether you get $100 in tips, it's all income, Phil. I'm sorry, and there's no way you can get around that fact. So let's keep going.
I couldn't believe it. People were actually defending me. I was like, what? People are defending me? That hasn't happened in a decade. Seriously, no one has had my back in a decade. And now people are actually being nice to me and standing up for me. Wow. So you mean I can do the same thing everyone else does now and I won't be crucified for it by a bunch of obsessive nut jobs? Well, no, I will still be, but the thing is no one cares about them anymore, right? No one gives a shit about what they have to say, and that's a good thing.
Okay, your boy Doody spent, I'm going to say an hour. While I was watching the stream last night, his Street Fighter stream and clipping it, I spent about an hour looking for these so-called supporters. No one. Maybe a couple of the flying monkeys in his chat it supported him, or said, yeah, Phil, you're right. No one. I went to his comment section. I went to my comment section. I went to various other people that were posting on Twitter last night, and no one said, you know what, Phil has a right to beg. It's perfectly fine. I support Phil's begging. No one said that, Phil. No one. I'm sorry, I didn't find it. I didn't see it. I'm pretty sure you have a couple people that do support you, Phil. The Kevin Styles who peeks his head out of his hole every, couple weeks to post on Twitter defending you. Yeah, there's dents like that. We understand that. But someone, a neutral party, or someone that actually knows you, that knows the scummy person you are, no one's coming out and saying, you know what, I was wrong, Phil is correct, he can beg. It's perfectly fine to beg. No one said that, Phil, and no one even said defended you. No one does it. No one did. It was just utterly ridiculous, Phil, that you're sitting here talking about people now defending you in Twitter. And the mere fact that he just stated that no one cares about your opinion, no one cares about no one cares the fact that Phil begs. That's what he's saying. He's saying no one cares, right? You care, Phil. You're the one that spent over 6 minutes on your unrecorded segment, right? Because you don't clip this. You don't put this in your stream. You cut this out, right? You felt the need to rant and rave about people talking about you begging. So apparently you care. So we hit a nerve. The people on Twitter and the people making videos, the detractors, everyone out there hit a nerve, Phil. Hit a nerve. And I'm going to show you actually one clip in a little bit where he actually throws the Kino folks under the bus, which is hilarious. He threw them under the bus. And I actually got a quote back from the Kino folks. And I think they got a laugh out of that as well, where Phil actually threw them under the bus. And I'll show that clip in a minute. So let's keep going. We just have a few more minutes on this pathetic video that Phil put out.
Jade, yes, we are picking green Blanca tonight. I mean, we've got the green joystick. We've got the green backdrop. I've got a green colored PC. We're doing green Blanca tonight for sure. Okay. Tate S says, if you were to work overtime 1 week, does that mean you just work time and a half the next week? No. Right. Because I had a good day on Sunday, a really good day with that React event. I'm just supposed to not care about working for the whole week and just be like, yeah, it's fine. I don't need any income. I've made this analogy before. If you own a business, right? And let's say for some reason you have a record-breaking day of sales, right? Does that mean you just shut the store down for the rest of the week? Oh, I'm good. No. What are you talking about?
Okay, first of all, time and a half is work. Time and a half is it's funny here because you could just tell that Phil hasn't had a job in many years. Time and a half means you get paid time and a half. So if you're working and you pass your regular scheduled hours, you get paid what's overtime, and that's time and a half, Phil. I have no clue what the hell you're talking about. Which means, say you make $10 an hour. If you work past your normal schedule, every hour after that, you'll make $15 versus $10. That's what time and a half is. God, you could just tell the people that follow him have no concept whatsoever about work, about a business, about a payroll, nothing. The other thing here is that you're not a business, Phil. You're a boomer who streams to a bunch of dents. That's what you are. And just because people throw money your way doesn't make it a business. If that were the case, every single homeless person in this country would be considered an LLC or a small business owner. Okay, Phil? So let's just put that out there. The other issue that I'm having with you, Phil, is, oh Lord, it's so frustrating. This is what's frustrating about him, because someone makes a point and he has to be ridiculous about it. He does, and he has no real argument. He does it. Like I said, let me use the business analogy that I used earlier. If you have a restaurant, right? The unwritten rule is that if you get service and you have a service provider, that you're gonna tip them. You're gonna tip them for providing service. That's an unwritten rule. It's not the law, but it's an unspoken rule that people follow, right? You fall in the same category, Phil. You fall in the same exact category. The expectation, right? There is no expectation. The unwritten rule is that if you provide something, people will tip you, but it's not mandatory. And for you to sit here and complain and set goals, that is the problem.
Good evening, King Michael. Good evening, Sandy. How y'all doing tonight? I hope you're all in a good mood, doing well. Reminder, guys. Reminder. When I play Street Fighter, I have to focus on Street Fighter. So unlike some other streams recently, last night on DSP Throwback or a Stardew Valley stream or any of these streams where I have a lot of opportunity for interaction, sadly, I don't have as much during these streams. And I hope you understand that. I will talk with you and do shout outs for contributions between sets. I will also be trying to cool down because I do tend to get pretty heated under the collar here. When I play Street Fighter, my adrenaline goes up, my rage ensues and all of that. But I would absolutely appreciate a little bit of patience between the matches. If I start to get angry or heated, please let me know in the chat. Say, hey, it's time for a break, Phil. The only time I won't do a break is if we're near the end of the stream. Like in about 2 hours, if I'm got to end the stream, I'm going to keep going. But outside of that, I absolutely need to take some breaks here or there. Okay? All right. This is so dumb. Asking for money is the problem. I'm literally saying, here's my goal. Please support the stream if you enjoy it. Am I saying, right now, drop everything you're doing and against your own will, start giving me your money. Open your wallets and unload them into the stream. Did I say that? So unless I said that, if that's the case, then you should be offended. All right?
Again, Phil gets a comment, right? He gets a comment and he feels the need to insult the person, right? And then what he has to do is he has to exaggerate the point, trying to make it seem like that person is ridiculous. That's what he always does because he has no argument. He has no argument. His only argument is, I need to belittle this person. And that's not an argument, Phil. People look at you like, why do you have to be an idiot? Why do you have to be so rude? Why do you have to be so condescending? And that's what he does here. And then one of the Kino guys, one of the Kino viewers that have been here actually supporting, actually made an interesting comment to Phil. So let's see that little clip real quick. And then, yeah, so let me find that clip.
They don't have to because they're filthy rich.
I think this is it right
No, Gaspavelli, I don't watch Maximilian Dude content, so I'm not.
Hold on.
Stoic, good evening. How are you? If I hit $50, I'm good. I'll mention, hey, by the way, goal, do you still keep I'm from Kino. Snarf says, I'm from Kino Casino. After you hit your goal, do you still keep asking? If you don't, I don't see the big deal. I have different tiered goals. Like I said, my actual goal for the night is $50. If I hit $50, I'm good. I'll mention, hey, by the way, if we hit 100, I'll put on a hat. If we hit 150, maybe, you know, I'll put on a vest. But I don't sit here just constantly pounding the audience for it. No, I don't. Not at all. Trust me, if I never had to bring it up ever, I wouldn't. I want to play games. I want to chill with you guys. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to fucking make a buck, you know? But people that don't care about that don't like me, they make shit up. As you'll see tonight.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Okay, so I'll give you an example. What I ended up doing in this video, I did a flashback, and what I did was I posted every single instance. Look, these are all different instances. I counted about 7 times during the first stream where Phil actually stopped his stream to beg for money. Mentioning it once or twice is not in Phil's... Well, I don't think he understands what mentioning it once or twice means. It can't even categorize as several. It's like half a dozen. It's like half a dozen, Phil. And you did the same thing last night. Your Street Fighter, I counted about 5 or 6 beds. And not only did you beg last night, right? You guilt tripped on top of everything. So I really hope that Kino Casino viewer that saw that stayed for the night and actually paid attention to see how often Phil beg. And I just hope that guy says, yeah, this dude's a scumbag. He's lying. He is a beggar. It's true what they say about him. He is a beggar. He is. He's a beggar. He's a beggar and a guilt tripper. All right, folks, that's all I really had to say about that. The next little clip that I want to show is actually Phil throwing the Kino Casino folks under the bus. This will make you laugh because, I mean, come on, Phil. Really? Really, Phil? You're talking about other people begging? You are the king of begging, Phil. Good Lord. All right, let's watch this.
All right, guys, final hour. We're going to do the World Championships. Then we're going to do some survival mode. All right, cool. Again, last chance. If you like the content, if you could support it, I would appreciate it. I've had great support in everywhere but tips today. If we could hit the $50 tips goal by the end of the stream in the next hour, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm not going to sit here like the Kino Casino guys and keep bringing it up and stuff. They ham it up, man. They go over the top. They ham it up, right?
Oh, that's right, folks, right there. You would think that Phil, of all people, who's being treated, like, as he says, nicely, right? Being treated nicely, you would think he wouldn't throw the people that are being nice to him under the bus. He actually said he doesn't beg like the casino people. Huh? What? Excuse me, Phil? Those words should never come out of your mouth, Phil. You should never, ever criticize anyone for begging or excessive begging. Not you, Phil. Again, maybe right message, wrong messenger. And I think too that you hear me say those words a lot. You say right message, wrong messenger. I use it a lot for Twitter when people try to defend Phil or say, well, Phil was kind of based because he said that or that opinion was right. Yeah, and I say, and I always use it. I say right message, wrong messenger, because Phil of all people should not open up his trap when it comes to certain things, especially when he exhibits the same behavior. Anyway, folks, that's all I had. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. My apologies that it ran a little long, but I had a lot to say, and hoping that Phil takes the time to actually watch this video, and maybe he can understand why people have so many problems with him and call him an e-beggar. This is it, Phil. The wrap up this video, essentially, Phil, is the reason why people despise you and hate that you beg is because 1, you do beg, and 2, you excessively beg, and 3, you have a bad habit of guilt tripping people and placing your financial burdens on others. So that's it, Phil. Hope this helps. Hope it makes you understand. If not, drop me a DM. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you. Peace out.